live here in just a second. Finally got it figured out. Okay, I think we're live now.
All right.
Except...
So he is going to get Mogrim going, not strategic to start. Which makes sense because Mogrim's probably his best unit for dealing with the Morrow Warriors.
Crap, did my screen wig out again?
I see the map, but I don't see your face.
You don't see my face.
But that's probably fine, honestly.
Okay, there we go. Ouch!
I love your face, Sir Heroscape.
Ouch! Okay, perfect. All right, sweet. So, sorry, I'm just going to take a second because the YouTube channel's live. I'm just going to announce this really quick what's going on for those that are watching. So, for those of you that aren't familiar with this, this is our Heroscape online tournament we're running this weekend. Some of the Utah tournament directors and myself kind of got together and decided to run this while we're all in this situation with being at home. It turns out to be a great tournament. We had 42 attendees, and we've made it down to the finals here. We've got Leftonforya versus ISB 3. Or, sorry, I misannounced that. This is Chris Perkins, isn't it? ISB 3? Or no?
Wow. That's right. It's Chris Perkins on the left playing the Phantom Knights.
Sorry.
×5.
Wow. Yeah, I got that wrong. I totally put that wrong in the in the header of the video. Okay, so sorry, Chris Perkins on the left, Leftonforya on the right, and we've got pretty good matchups started already. They just started. We've got Morrow Warriors plugging their way out with the Axe Grinders. With me here on the voice channel is myself, Doc, Big Bullfrog, who I think will be joining us a little later, Leaf It, and Scaper Dude. You guys all are on, right? Just making sure we're all
yes,
here.
Sir.
Okay.
I'm here.
Sweet. Perfect. So, again, yeah, this is the finals round, and we're just here doing a screencast, so I hope you can enjoy this really good matchup that I think is going to be pretty interesting to see how it ends up.
So right now, Chris can get 2 attacks with Morrow Warriors where he can't be attacked back. If he sends the leading Morrow Warriors out to he can put them on spaces that aren't adjacent to the roads and get 2 attacks on Axe Grinders without any chance of being shot back. That would be my play. He might decide to take a little bit of a higher risk play, or he might even be more conservative and roll them around the sides.
Well, I think this is a great. I think this is a great move by Chris, because in a sense, he is going to give Leftonforya, a chance to potentially string out the. Obviously, they'll have more board control, but it's going to scatter him out a little ways and allow him to potentially focus in the Warriors later on.
Yeah, I think that's the right position. I would only attack with 3 if it were me this turn, unless he can put. I'm not sure the line of sight. He could put 2 in a row right where that one, and then put 1 up by the jungle brush right next to Dagmar, and another one between the jungle brush and Wannock. And then he could actually potentially attack with all 4 that way. One would be shooting Grim, which is a low power shot, but he could potentially, yeah, exactly. So that's what I was saying. 1 there, and then put 1 next to Wannock. And none of them can get. I guess the risk is if he strategic bonds, the one on the bottom could get engaged, so he might not go for that one.
Right.
That's probably it. Might in retrospect not be worth. Yeah, so he's probably just going to get through. But that's still pretty good. I mean, it's basically you want to punish your opponent for not having any range. This is the same thing he'd be doing against me if I were running Cather Spearman against him. He'd just be trying to pod shot me on the way out.
Right. Just a quick side note, Doc. Your mic's working pretty good, but it keeps breaking up a little bit here and there. Is it really close or
randomly spikes the audio?
Yeah.
Do you guys just want me to get off?
Oh no, you're fine.
I'm not trying to be snitty.
Yeah, get out of here. You're screwing up the audio.
It's not a big deal. If it's I just changed the position to hopefully it's a little closer, but not directly facing.
No, that's fine.
Okay.
Honestly, most of the time you come in pretty clear. I think it might just be something with the broadcast or something.
Okay.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah. No, I was just mentioning it because I wasn't sure, but yeah, we're good. Interesting. So he takes the road height and decides to allow himself to be engaged. Huh.
This makes some sense. He's basically using one screen for the other, basically saying you can attack one green scale. I'm one Mara warrior next turn.
Yeah.
So
Right.
that was actually a small mistake by him, though. He should have attacked with the back one first, because then the front one could have attacked the other one on road, and if he'd hit all of it, oh no, maybe
Right.
he did. Maybe he did. I'm not sure what order he did that. So he did it right. Okay, so he gets to potentially make it so Mogrim's the only
Oof.
game.
Yeah. 4 defense. Got pretty good odds. Huh?
It,
Oh, he missed it. But yeah, he blocked it anyway.
it turns out Mara warriors are good.
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah, Doc, I don't know if you remember it, but when we were doing.
I remember it. I know exactly what
Yeah.
I'm saying.
I was like, gosh, this is 3 years ago now, and I still remember that.
I'll let you tell us.
Yeah, so in Bring 2 format, it actually was screencast by Zorloff. I think that was one of the first screencasts they did at Gen Con. But it was a Bring 2 format, and I had like Wormlings, a Hydra, and some change of something. And you had Mar Warriors, and I think it was Torkelna and Nagrubs. And
That's right.
and it was so funny because I mean I've always been a Mara Warrior fan, but I've never seen them let out like that. At least that was the first time I learned my lesson, and so I decided to go Hydra because I figured Hydra could eat up some Nagrubs and put some wounds on a Torkelna. But then you went all in on Maros. It was hilarious because I literally didn't touch his entire army. I think the Maros. I think I ended up killing maybe two of them, and so then you switched order markers to Torkelna to finish me off, but. I'm pretty sure the Mara Warriors killed my Hydra and almost my entire army before it was like before I could do anything.
Yeah, it was ridiculous. There was a unique attack glyph, so
Oh yeah,
that was
yeah,
actually the first time the entire tournament that I led Mars. It just felt right in the matchup. Most of the time, I've done as you expected, led with Torkelna and backed up. And in that matchup, with the unique attack glyph, I just felt like it was a really strong play to try to snipe you out.
yeah, yeah. It's funny. It's funny how there's a few of those matchups where they just burn themselves into your brain and you never forget them.
Yeah, for sure. The losses tend to stick with you more than the.
Yeah, kind of like how my Silver Surfer got soul devoured last Utah tournament. That was that one.
Yeah, that was a moment for the history books.
That you can never live down.
So this is that's actually pretty big that he got the kill there. If he gets the other kill attacking up here, then he really kills the effectiveness of the Mara Warriors. Chris might even decide to clone on the last order mark, which would.
So question though, even if he doesn't get this kill, do you think he still goes in on Mara Warriors round 2? Because if an initiative switch happens, I would think you wouldn't want to take that chance.
Yeah, well, you have to put them in a fairly defensive on this next order marker, irrespective of whether you need to clone.
Yeah. Well, let's see what we're on. We're turn 2. Leftonforya is on turn 2. Who won? Who won initiative?
Chris did.
Chris did. Okay. Yeah, that's interesting.
Which he did not want to win for what it's worth.
Yeah, that's
he would much rather have lost that initiative.
Oof. Yep. So there he goes. So yeah, I think he's probably done with Mara Warriors unless he does retreat, clone back both.
He's probably going to run the bottom Mara Warrior back to the Swamp Water right next to the Phantom Knights and try to clone from there.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, he can drop him over that battlement. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, I'm not sure what he's going to do with the top one. It's in a little bit more of a precarious spot. It can't really get away.
Well, it could drop down 1, 2, 3, 4. It could drop down next to that jungle bush in the middle. I mean, that's not a great spot, but it's
but the point is, no matter where it goes, it's going to be either running towards the axe grinders or it's going to be engageable. So it's not a great spot.
Yeah.
He could go up and left, but then he's obviously it's very easy for Leftonforya to surround that area with dwarves in the next round.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Oh, he decides to actually go for land.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Huh. Yeah, because in that swamp water, he wouldn't have been able to be engaged. He would have been just as safe.
barring an initiative switch. Yeah.
Well, right, true. Actually, that's a good point. He's probably banking on that.
It's a question of how conservative he's trying to be. But if I'm him, I feel like I'm already at a disadvantage in this matchup after 2, and I'm probably going to play it for the higher variance for the clone and just hope I win initiative.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, I understand the argument. If you are going to run back, like,
And attacking with 1. Huh. Interesting. So maybe what he's doing is he's hoping that last Mara Warrior can just sit in the start zone until end game, rather than cloning this turn. I'll switch over to Phantom Knights next round.
yeah.
Obviously, it's nice saving Mara Warrior, but the trick is now that one Mara Warrior just took up, it's very likely that he's going to get clobbered in the next little bit. Mm-hmm. And just having one Mara Warrior honestly is not going to do a ton to help Chris later on. Obviously, you have potential to water clone, but it's going to be much more valuable to just be loading onto those Phantom Knights, trying to back 1 or 2 Mara Warriors there on the starts.
Yeah, I agree. It's a very unfortunate start for Chris to only. Well, I mean, the thing is, he did kill 3 dwarf. You could do a lot worse, but it's basically going to be melee against melee.
No, very true. Very true.
If I'm honestly, if I'm Leftonforya, I don't even move towards that last Mara Warrior. I just kill the one on the elevated spot and bring dwarves up from the back. Mm-hmm. Basically dare him to put order markers on a lone Mara Warrior in the next round. If he wants to do that, that's great. I'm going to get all my dwarves in my thought process at this point would be I don't want to give the Phantom Knights a chance to engage me on the first or the next round. So I'm going to move dwarves up from the back and just try to take out the Mara Warrior on the top. Dagmar, maybe take Wannick.
Agreed. I mean, especially because Leftonforya, he's going to have that advantage for what it's worth. And so, if Chris does choose to load Order Mark Warrior, it'd be pretty easy to pop off a couple of extra turns, killing Warrior first turn.
Yeah. Yeah, so I would have probably taken Wannick. I would have moved Milgram up to attack that one Mara Warrior. Then I would have taken Wannick and moved 3 up from the back. This is because now he's kind of, I don't want to say squandering the advantage he got by taking out those 2 Mara Warriors, but he's falling into that same trap of getting strung out that he actually was in a position to by having killed those 2. He could have backed up, taken out the 3rd one, and basically forced Chris to come to him to some extent.
So I guess he was thinking, so those top 4 hexes, height 4 pieces down there, I mean, Phantom Knights can grab that in 1 turn. So that's probably what he was thinking of, bring up 2 from the back, get those guys on height to keep him from holding the high ground.
But I mean, what does high ground mean in a melee?
Right. Yeah, well, and especially because you get 5 activations with Morgrim.
Right, and if he takes those 2 high spots, then just don't fight him for it. Like, just let him have it, and bring all your troops up, and then when you decide it's the right time to attack, bring Morgrim in, try to take a guy out on height, and then fill an axe grinder in the spot on your bonding activation. So he doesn't need to hold that high ground. Now, if I'm him, if Chris wants to rush his guys forwards to take that spot, then that's fine.
Yeah, you make a good point.
I think one thing to remember as well, though, is that those 2
cut out
right there. And so obviously that's only coming in once a round, but there's still definitely
Skipper, dude, you're cutting out a bit.
Let's see. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
I'm just saying that we need to remember that Wannock is positioned beneath that level 4 hex. So whoever controls that hit will be able to deal out some damage just from holding it.
Absolutely. That's another reason I would have loved to have taken Wannick that turn is that Chris's army is all squads, so every wound hurts. When you've got a hero based army, you can absorb a couple of hits before it really starts to count. He can put obviously you don't want wounds on Mogrim, but it's a lot less painful to put a first wound on Mogrim than it is to peel off one of your Phantom Knights.
Right. Well, and Morgrim's such a tank. I mean, you can manage to soak one wound from Wannick on that, and sometimes that's all you need.
Yeah, so now he's taking Wannick now, which means he's basically banking on holding it for the rest of the round, which he certainly can do. But the thing is, with Phantom Knights, Chris is going to have no problem flying a unit over the top and getting a height attack on that axe grinder. He can attack it from the south, where it is not giving up height. He can put 2 Phantom Knights underneath that axe grinder. So
on that swamp terrain piece.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
so I mean, honestly, if I'm Leftonforya, I probably don't even try to hold Wannick this round because I'm losing initiative. I'd rather just pull more units up and get more units off the road. He really just needs to get his troops on the road as quickly as possible.
Well, and the other thing I was thinking too is very few times do I ever take Wannick on turn 1 of the initiative. I mean, especially in this situation where Phantom Knights can't engage immediately after this turn 1. You can take it turn 2 because Phantom Knights come in, you want to avoid them from grabbing it. But even then, I don't even know if Chris's plan is to grab Wannick. I mean, knowing that Morgrim can soak a damage or 2, I don't think Chris needs to grab Wannick. I mean, I think he likes attacking down on a Wannick holder just to get the height attack and get kills.
Absolutely. That's if I'm Chris, I'm thinking I'm going to pull some troops from the back, put them on the sand 7 hexer, and then I can hop over and get height attacks, and just render those 2 level 4 spots irrelevant. I don't need them.
Mm-hmm.
I can come at you from another angle.
Yeah. Well, and then if Leftonforya gets antsy, jumps off the 4 hex just to get multiple attacks, then boom, stealth flying, go pop up and grab some height on him or whatever, or reposition somewhere else. But yeah, no, that's maneuverability is huge with the Phantom Knights. So let's see, whose turn is it? Lefton? No, Lefton just finished. Chris.
It's Chris's turn. I don't know if he's just thinking before he reveals it.
I was gonna say there's a stall.
I'm gonna step away for a minute, guys.
You're good.
You're good.
Yeah.
Leafit, you've been quiet. What great, inspiring things do you have to say about this matchup?
Sorry, you cut out at the end. What?
Oh, I was just saying, what great, inspiring things do you have to say about this matchup?
I believe in it to you guys because you've pretty much got it covered.
Either Chris Perkins had to step away or he's thinking about this very cryptically. Well, and it makes sense. I mean, he's sorry. Well, man, I can't scroll up on here. What's his order markers on? Are they all PKs?
Yeah, so Chris Perkins' order markers, he still has, and he has 3 on the Phantom.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think he's all in. I mean, obviously, he's probably got to be all in on Phantom Knights. So let's see, he moved up. Well, he did move up 1 PK there on the bottom left.
Yeah.
Maybe was that from last round? No, because he hasn't put order markers on him yet. Huh.
I am very surprised that he didn't dunk the 1 Mara warrior earlier on.
Oh, yeah, on that retreat.
Like the putting the one on height and taking a single pot shot isn't really worth it because you might get 1 X grinder, but it would be more valuable to have an extra Mara warrior for the late game if you have to rely on them.
Yeah,
at least that's how I look at it.
Yeah, I agree. I thought that was odd that he retreated 1 and then grabbed height and attacked. That was kind of like a hybrid of retreat but also attack, and I think you have to do either one or the other. Sure, try and attack with both and get 2 kills for what your squad's worth, or you just totally retreat and try and clone 2 guys back. I mean, so say he gets he retreats 2, he gets 1 of those to clone. Now he's got 3 Mara Warriors for the end game, right? Or at the very least 2 Mara Warriors for the end game, and it's much more efficient when you've got 2 Mara Warriors that can clone back 2 Mara Warriors than 1 Mara Warrior trying to slowly clone back more.
And even so, say he took the one that was up top and put it in the left side swamp double hex. That would be even if the dwarves went and killed that guy, that just puts dwarves in a vulnerable position that you can attack with Phantom Knights. So it would have probably been worth it just to use it as a lure, just to get them to string out further.
Right.
Because either they're gonna do that, putting you in an advantageous situation to go and attack them, or they don't because they realize that it will put them at a disadvantage. So it's just, I don't see it being valuable to have not done either of those things.
Yeah. No, and it's past that time now, so I'm sure he's that may end up hurting him, in the end game, and maybe he's already even thinking about that. But right now, it looks like he's going up towards Dagmar and through 1 low. Now that's an interesting move. Is he going to try and isolate Morgrim and assassinate Morgrim, do you think? Like, what's the play there, trying to go to the hero side?
It is interesting. I think it might just be because but it does not look like he is going to launch a full-scale attack against Compound. If he was going to do that, he would need to be all in from Order 1. But he seems to be playing a very cautious game. The strategy is.
I think that since there's more dwarves on the bottom side, he's thinking that maybe he'll take the height on the top side, since only Mogrim is over there, and he can get several height attacks onto that, unless Mogrim sits on top of the 4.
Well, right.
Or runs away. So he can try and take out the hero and lock him down while holding on to height.
So that's an interesting move. I was wondering if he was going to do that, because by putting himself there, he's either, one, inviting Morgrim to just come and engage, or Morgrim says, forget that, I'll take the 4 hex height. You just try and kill me with 6 life, 3 defense, and tough. So that's a bit of an aggressive play for Leftonforya. I don't know that I would have done that. I mean, I guess,
it is a roadblock for a little while, because it's definitely worth it to take out the hero so they can't get the 5 activations. I'm just not sure that it's worth losing the hero there.
Well, and the thing is Morgrim can't lock down Phantom Knights. So in a normal game, I might have done that. Well, no,
but they'll be locked down in that it's a valuable unit to take out, so he'll want to kill him. So they will stop there, even though they don't have to.
That's a good point. They may... Yeah, I guess if Chris's intention was to try and attack Morgrim and take him out, then basically Morgrim is determining where the fight's happening, and he decided to do it at the front line. And maybe that allows dwarves to fill up the back. Though, I mean, if Leftonforya really wanted to, he could have just dropped him on that 4 hex and said, all right, you just try and kill me. I really just... Morgrim with 3 defense, 6 life, and tough is like so disgusting. It's like so hard to kill that guy if he's on height. Okay, so Leftonforya blanked. He moved up axe grinders, and now it's back to Chris. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, so I guess you're right. I guess he's just gonna try and mob Morgrim. Yeah, well,
and I think, I mean, we have to remember that Chris Perkins, I mean, his cavalry is the Phantom Knight. So you're going to have to go after Mogrim at some point. And it's a pretty nice spot right there, because Mogrim does when he's surrounded by other dwarves, because it enables him to get his command going. But when Mogrim is by himself, I mean, Leftonforya is not going to be able to utilize, at least until he starts getting dwarves moved.
Oh.
Yeah. I mean, the only... Sorry, I'm back, guys. The only reason I'm not a huge fan of this play is that he can potentially limit the number of activations just by killing dwarves. So what I mean is that the goal of killing Mogrim is to reduce Leftonforya's army to 4 attacks a turn. But another way you can reduce the number of attacks per turn is by reducing the number of figures that he can get to the front.
True.
So right now, Leftonforya is really strong. He did not mass his troops short, which is what I think most people would have probably done here. He decided he wanted to really aggressively break the start zone. So by going after Mogrim, you're in a way almost rewarding that. You're allowing him to keep his momentum going with a low number of axe grinders. If you instead targeted the dwarves, then you might get him down to 2 or 3 axe grinders that are in play in a given turn. So that's
a good point.
That's the counterpoint here. I mean, I understand why, because if you can take Mogrim out, that's it. But I think my instinct would have been to go after the squad figure. So
yeah,
there's an argument. There's an argument either way. I'm not saying it's a blunder.
So on Leftonforya's side, though, that play where Morgrim's up on the 2 hex near the jungle near the north, and recognizes that the Phantom Knights are coming for him, he goes and engages them. I don't know, is that the right play? Because in my mind, I'm thinking you don't need to make that play. You can go up onto that 4 hex and be untouchable from Phantom Knights and just kind of wait it out. If Chris really wants to come and kill Morgrim, he can try on the 4 hex, right? It seemed like it was unnecessary for him to go and engage those 2 Phantom Knights.
Even or like to bring, I wouldn't have brought Mogrim up there in the first place if that's what you're saying. I tend to agree with that. But given what's happened, I see why you would push forward with what you had.
Yeah.
So at this point, is just the 1 Phantom Knight dead?
Yeah, so 1 Phantom Knight. What do we lost? 3 dwarves only? Yeah, because Phantom Knights haven't killed a dwarf yet. He's going for initiative. Okay, turn 3.
And he did pull that Phantom Knight up to attack with height there. So
yeah,
this is why I never would have put that dwarf there in the first place. But so Chris is correctly punishing that.
So he kills 2 dwarves, gets initiative next round. He can take that sand hex, get a height attack on that dwarf. Oh.
Ooh.
No, that's rude.
I think probably would have been better to attack the dwarf on swamp rather than this dwarf, but it worked out either way because he could have gotten height on the down below.
Right, yeah, the sand hex. Yeah.
But obviously it worked out.
Well, if he can get the initiative switch, he could get 2 height attacks and potentially the same level attack from Morgrim. If he can clean up 2 to 3 of those dwarves, he's left Morgrim by himself with 1 dwarf, and then Leftonforya's got nothing.
Yeah. So I mean, he really should just avoid engaging those 2 dwarves on height because he has plenty of other targets he can attack Mogrim 3 times if there's only 2 dwarves left. But he can just get 3 height attacks, 1 on the dwarf on swamp and 2 on the dwarf on Wannick, and basically or attack level on the dwarf next to Mogrim. There's options, but you've got a couple different ways.
Yeah, that's what. Sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say I would probably only attack 2 dwarves just because that way you avoid. There's a good chance you kill both of them, and that leaves you with no engaged Phantom Knights, so Mogrim can't Commander Strike. The longer you can keep Commander Strike out of play, the better.
That's a good point. You're increasing your odds of getting at least the 2 kills that are crucial to limiting his number of attacks. Okay, yeah, so let's see what his play is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Level ground.
Now, the reason he's making that positioning, Is it because the dwarf is too small?
Too short.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. That's right. They're only 3 high, huh?
Mm-hmm. That's that. As soon as he
Ooh.
moved there, I was like, "Why did you?" Oh,
Oh man, that's tough. Yeah, dwarves with battlements. Interesting.
so I probably not have engaged that one there, but I understand the argument.
So I think he needs 2 kills here to get some momentum going. If he can't get these, if he can only get 1, I mean he's okay, but he's not great.
Yeah, I mean the thing is at this point, it's basically he's fighting 5 dwarves, and so if he gets 2 of them, then Leftonforya is down to 3 dwarves.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, he has almost 2 squads in his start zone, but they can't participate. So killing more than 1 dwarf here means you're essentially, for the foreseeable future, reducing the effective squad size of the dwarves. That's extremely valuable.
So he got that one up near Morgrim. Now he's going low.
Yeah. So now the
Nice.
dwarves.
Okay. Interesting.
So now
Yeah.
the dwarves are a squad of 3 now, essentially. So
Yeah.
how close do you have to be to get commander striked?
5. It's a pretty good range.
Okay, so Mogren can swing around to the south end of that Phantom Knight, and he can commander strike.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And it's you're targeting a figure adjacent to one of your figures, so it's your own figure within 5 spaces, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah. 1, 2. Let's see if he makes that play. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, he's not getting in range. Huh? Maybe he doesn't see it. 1, 2. Yeah.
Ooh, that hurts.
Yeah, yeah, he must not have seen that he could pull off that commander strike. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah.
The alternative is that he was worried about Mogrim getting mobbed, but honestly, in this situation, I don't mind Mogrim getting mobbed. I'd rather
Well, I mean, he's going to get mobbed. He's alone anyway. I mean,
exactly. But the thing is, I would rather take 3 attacks to Mogrim than have my dwarves get attacked. So if he wants to mob Mogrim, more power to you. I would push Mogrim forward and use him to tank the Phantom Knights while you potentially get more units in play.
so thought here. Leftonforya is he's activating 2, bringing up 2. Well, maybe only. Oh, he's only bringing up 1. See, I don't know. At that point, with only having 3 on the front line, would you have even bonded with Morgrim and done the strategic bonding from the start zone just to get 2 or 3 more dwarves from the back?
I would have used Mogrim just because not only can you get the kill, but you can commander strike, and as long as you're threatening with Mogrim, maybe Mogrim attacks draw some of the attack. You got quite fortunate on the bottom there with that 3v5 kill. He could have actually swung that dwarf around and gotten him on level ground, but he chose to take Wannick again, maybe just because he wanted Wannick. But this is
Well, I guess what he's doing by taking Wannick is he's in a way forcing Chris's hand, like saying, you know how hard this is going to be for you to deal with Wannick for your army, so come and get me. But you're potentially giving up a dwarf for that.
Exactly, and you got 2 more rounds. Like just put him on level ground.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing is, we can talk all we want about these plays, but the fact is that he's winning this game pretty he's winning this game pretty comfortably right now. He's actually in a situation at this point where if he takes out like 3 or 4 more Phantom Knights, he could lose the whole front line and still be winning because he has so many reserves at this point.
Right. Well, and it looks like Chris is misplaced there because there's no way that dwarf is engaged. Level 4 versus level 0. Yeah, they're not engaged. Hopefully they catch that.
They're probably discussing it.
Yeah, right, because yeah. I guess he didn't catch that.
It's the kind of thing I'd consider pointing out to them if it were when it's our tournaments. I'll let you guys make the call on this, but.
Well,
you know,
yeah.
my general policy is you don't point out when somebody forgets a power, forgets to do
Right.
something that is optional, but if they just make a straight up failure to recognize the correct the legal play, that I'll bring it up.
Right. Well, let's see. He does get the kill there. Hey, Leaf.
Yeah.
Since I'm screencasting and can't get away from the screen, do you want to maybe just pop in and message one of
I
them?
can let them know if you want.
Yeah, because I just don't want that being a game changer if that happens in the next turn.
Sorry, you broke up a bit towards the end. What?
I can go deliver the message if we need to.
Yeah, just on that
know about
high
that.
point. Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Oof, Morgrim. He said enough playing around. Oh, yeah, he's trying to attack him again. Oh, no. Yeah, see, he can't even attack with that dwarf, too. He's trying to attack with the dwarf, and he can't. He's too small.
Yeah, that's one of the failings of the virtual scape. When you have the glyphs like that over level 0, it'll look like they're over level 1.
Yeah, well, the thing is, even level 1, they're still not engaged, because 4 high is 4 levels high from level 1. Well, let's see. 2, 3, 4. Yeah, it's actually, if it was on level 1, they still wouldn't be engaged. And to the left there, it says glyphs are on level 0 swamp water. But yes, you're correct. It's easy to miss. Okay, but so we've got... Okay, so Morgrim just went, so we've got the Axe Grinders still figuring it out. We've got, what, 2 on the front lines. Ooh, yeah. Let's see, 1 on road, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. Yeah, can kind of get into the action a little bit. Can't get an attack off. Let's see. How many squads of Phantom Knights? 1, 2, 3 squads of Phantom Knights. Interesting. Yeah, Morgrim's still full health in the start zone. That's going to be tough. Especially because he can't attack down from that spot with the dwarf. Or, sorry, with the Phantom Knight. He's going to have to come down, which actually isn't a problem because he can still take height. Jumping on road.
Actually, knowing that they're not engaged, being at the 4, it might have been a bait to try. Well, no, because neither one of them.
He tried to attack.
If he went to Dagmar intentionally, not knowing that he wouldn't be engaged there, that could be a bait to get him off the highest point, so another dwarf could come in and get a high attack onto him sitting on the 2.
Yeah. Yeah.
But neither one of them recognized it. So
no. Yeah, that's it's a moot point. But I think Leftonforya is starting to realize he's hurting for dwarf activations right now. He's strung himself out in a bad way, and PKs are so maneuverable. Chris can kind of really determine where this battle's happening. The biggest concern for Chris, obviously, is the fact that Morgrim's just sitting in his start zone and can whack away at whatever he wants. I still don't know why he hasn't rolled for Commander Strike on that one dwarf or on that one PK on the south side, though. He just must have forgotten about that ability, I guess. Because that's, I think, 2 or 3 times now he's missed that. Let's see. He's flying in.
Look at that. So he's moving the Phantom Knight in.
Yeah, so he's being pretty aggressive on that. Well, I guess what he figures is, he's, by engaging and potentially killing the reinforcements, he's basically, again, isolating Morgrim and limiting activations that the dwarves get. Limiting the number of attacks each turn that the dwarves are going to get. That said, he's far enough in front that actually provides more attacks from those dwarves coming from the back. So it's an interesting move.
at least with his positioning, it's nice because he's road, which is going to limit the flow that the dwarves can get going on the road tiles.
And it is a high
And
point too.
he is on a high point as
Yeah,
well.
that's true.
So
Yep.
for an aggressive move, it's actually a very, it's a very tactful move right there.
That's a good point. Yeah, blocking road and taking height. So I mean, you're requiring them to attack up. Yeah, no, that's a great point. That's a clogging point for this map. That's a very good point. So that attack, let's see, that went through on the south side. That's yeah, that's the Phantom Knight killing the dwarf. Uh-oh, he still thinks he can attack that.
Hold on.
Still thinks
We'll
he can.
see if they catch it.
They must not have gotten the message yet. But he still missed, so that's twice that the attack hasn't gone through. So I guess we're getting lucky.
Sorry, Doc. I have to manually unmute you each time you come into this chat.
Yeah, no worries.
Luckily, that dwarf hasn't been killed yet, so that's not.
No, it hasn't affected gameplay too seriously, besides taking up Phantom Knight attacks that could be used.
Well, I imagine if he knew he couldn't be there, he probably would have just dropped to the swamp spot and done the hide attack. If he really wanted to attack the Wannick dwarf, but. Here we go. Doc's bringing down the hammer. You can't do that.
That's how I roll. Yeah, but it's actually appropriate for Chris to be making, a fairly aggressive play with that Phantom Knight at this point because he should recognize the situation. He's losing at this point pretty comfortably. So you know he's at that point in the game where you need things to go your way. So you start making sort of more aggressive plays with that.
Yeah, and for an aggressive play, I think what Skipper Dude mentioned is a great spot. I mean, you're clogging the road on the south side for reinforcements. You've got height, so you're limiting or you're increasing your chances of survival, which great clogging point that he's got there. Oh, man. Morgrim. Merciless. He is throwing dice.
Absolutely.
Yeah, at this point, Chris is definitely worried about Morgrim. Untouched, no wounds on him, just in the start zone smacking stuff. That's a tough spot.
Well, it's tough because he even went for him. He already committed some resources to trying to, and nothing ended up coming of it. And so he's already spent some of his Mogrim resources, and Mogrim's just going crazy in the start zone.
Well, yeah, that play where he surrounded Morgrim up at the north side with the 3 attacks and nothing came from it, that was a pretty early investment to go for Morgrim. And I mean, I guess he was figuring get early wounds, and if I get wounds, then I'll keep investing turns on it. But nothing came of it. So now he's hurting because now he's going back, focusing on the dwarf squads, and Morgrim's just like, okay, you leave me alone. I'll show you what I can do. He's just punishing him. Looks like he wants to kill that Phantom Knight clogging the road. Not surprising. Though if he can engage, if he really does want to try and clog up those, like if that Phantom Knight can block on the road, clog up those dwarves, and then he could get at least 1 height attack on Morgrim and increase his chances of actually getting some wounds on Morgrim. Maybe he gets himself some breathing room, assuming that this Phantom Knight doesn't die. Because now Morgrim actually is totally alone. If that Phantom Knight can keep those dwarves. Oh, well.
Oh.
Yeah, nope. You kind of have to roll defense. Oh, was he attacking up?
Yeah, he had 1 height roll and
he did. He did. He blocked it. Ooh. Okay.
That's lucky.
So if this Phantom Knight survives, I think Chris has his odds increase a little bit of having a little bit of a comeback here, only because that allows him to then swarm Morgrim if he wants to try and get 2 level attacks, 1 height attack, maybe some early wounds, potentially assassinate him, but it fully depends on if that knight can hold that spot or not. That said, 3 attacks is hard to. Yeah, yep. See, it only lasted 1 turn.
Yeah, I would have left Morgrim in. I would have brought Morgrim in to the middle there, next to the Jungle Brush, because Morgrim, unlike the Axe Grinders, is vulnerable to a height attack in that spot.
Yeah.
So it would. I would have kept Morgrim on attacking the 4 idle Phantom Knights.
Yeah. Right.
And
well, and then you engage the Morrow Warrior, and basically you're just punching Chris in the in the balls, saying, "There's no chance you're coming back with that Morrow Warrior."
Yeah, exactly. Because at this point, the best case scenario, Chris, is kill the squatties and then have the Morrow Warriors go crazy. Because at this point, there's just honestly probably not enough Phantom Knights to grind through an Axe Grinders.
Yeah.
But if you can get it down to like 3 Axe Grinders in Mogrim and you get your clones off, you can win.
Yeah. Well, and now he has to eat Wannock now, so
it really looks bad at this point because he's down to if he was just down to 2 Morrow Warriors where a potentially good clone turn takes him back to full strength.
Yep.
But there's just a lot of things stacked against him at this point.
I mean, there's even still a couple dwarves just sitting in the start. There's still more reserves back there.
Yeah.
Well, and it's interesting because, as Doc mentioned earlier, the play by Leftonforya early on and has continued to be strung out, right? I mean, his dwarves have been strung out, and so he's not getting full, 3, 4, 5 attacks per turn on units, which is obviously how they're at full strength. And so, I mean, the game hangs in a balance when there's certain missteps like stringing your units out and then not capitalizing on those. And as we pointed out earlier, we felt like Chris probably didn't capitalize on Leftonforya's development missteps there. So now that's a situation where he's just kind of grinding through the end here. A tie? What was that on the initiative roll? I thought he got it's +8. Wait.
Because
right. Yeah,
Mogo's adding to Leftonforya and Dagmar's adding to so.
Oh wow, and then Chris goes and loses it anyway. Oh, that's rough. Losing initiative when you have Dagmar is that's like a gut punch. It's like, oh.
Yeah, because I don't like to plan around initiative. I have to, but when you have Dagmar, you're typically it's not quite as bad as usual. Normally you're at 80% to win when you have Dagmar, but when your opponent has
+3, yeah.
Your opponent has +3, so you only have +5. I'd have to run the numbers, but I guess it's closer to like a 70%.
Instead of the 80%.
Yeah. Maybe even a little under 70. But I mean, still where you expect it mostly.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Absolutely. Let's see. So 1, 2. He's got just 2 squads. Oh, and he soaked the Morrow Warrior. Oh man, Morgrim. Oh my gosh. The last 3 attacks for Morgrim have been 4 for 4. Oh. That's Chris has got to be cringing so hard on those. Crap. Just maxed out 3 times in a row. Well, I think with that kill from Morgrim, that's a bit of an exclamation point, because now we've got 4 dwarves, mid-map, Morgrim untouched, and only 5 Phantom Knights left. Yeah. Oh no, 6. No, I guess 2 squads.
It's not quite Victory Cigar, but it's
just about
cool.
there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and the other thing too is Leftonforya hasn't been using his Commander Strike at all. I mean, not that he's needed to, but there have been those 2 times earlier he missed it. So this Phantom Knight here up on height, say he's tanking really hard like he is, all it takes is one good roll from Morgrim to say, forget about it. That said, he doesn't need to either. He could just run in the start zone, smack some more Phantom Knights too. Let's see, he's got 2 squads of dwarves left. Yeah, 2 full squads. Untouched Morgrim. Well, the other piece too is in tournament games, the one thing about going all squads is you don't have a hero worth 120 points for a game that might end up going to time or getting close, to time. And actually, generally speaking, championship games never go to time unless it's like. Actually, didn't Gen Con wasn't it like a 2.5-hour game or something? Doc?
There was. So Gen Con games go to time outside of day 2 of the main event. The first round, the first day of the main event, and all the rounds are timed. But in day 2, traditionally they weren't timed. They're talking about putting on an extreme time limit, like a 90-minute time limit in the future, because there was a game that went well over 2 hours, the semifinals last year.
Oh, that's awesome.
Both players were playing pretty slow in that game. To be honest, it wasn't entirely on the head of one person, but the guy who won was definitely playing slow.
Right.
So it was a tricky matchup because one side had a bunch of sort of like 4 different places to put order markers, and then there was Wyvern, so they both kept counting spaces for what the Wyvern could grab, and were trying to make sure that things couldn't grab where they couldn't. So
gosh.
It was a very tricky matchup, but it was still ridiculous. There's just no reason a game should ever take that.
So this is interesting. He just got some 2 good kills, so that's not bad. He's going to make a game of it. He's going to make it interesting.
Yeah. I mean, if he gets the initiative here, gets height, so he can get another kill.
Yes. I also think that banks on him needing to clear, though. I mean, he's just going to hold dear life at this point.
Royal Eye. Oh, yes. Sorry.
Sorry, what was that? I missed that. Who was talking?
Oh, I was just saying that at this point in the game, Leftonforya is just going to hold on to Wanok all it's worth, because if he can just sit on that glyph, I mean, it's just going to run Chris out.
Yeah, he's got enough numbers to replace it too. He's going to Commander Strike finally, see if he gets it. Strike.
Is this his first roll of the game for it?
Yeah. And a lovely 4. Not a 15. I think it's 15, right? Yeah, 15 or higher. 2, 4, nice. Okay. His PKs are still hanging tight. So you can get 2. Let's see. No, yeah, he can still get 4 attacks. 2 on that PK. Bring up some from the start zone. Yeah. 1, 2, 3. Actually, 1, 2, 3. No, he can only get 3 attacks this turn. Okay. What'd be really interesting is if somehow the PKs with their 5 defense on height are able to take out some of these knights, and then have an endgame scenario where it's Morgrim versus the final PKs. That would be interesting, especially if PKs were somehow able to get a switch on Wanok and grab Wanok, or vice versa, where Morgrim denies Wanok, grabs it himself to keep from taking auto wounds, but then has to take height attacks. Of course, we're far from that spot, but interesting to think about.
Yeah, I mean, in that situation, the right play with Morgrim is to put him on the bottom, south of the wound glyph, where you can get height attacks on wound, but you can only be engaged on left.
Yeah. Though in an endgame scenario, I guess it depends on how many wounds you have on Morgrim, because do you give up Wanok to allow your opponent to take it, and then just try and get height attacks? What do you think? Or do you think Morgrim takes Wannick to deny it so he's not getting free wounds? Now, if he's full health, I mean, you don't need to protect Wannick. But,
I mean, if you're Chris in that situation, you're down to your last Phantom Knights, you have to put something on Wannick when you get an opportunity, because otherwise, as I can't remember who was saying it earlier, whether it was Skibberdude or I think it was Skibberdude was saying earlier, like you can just get bled to death, pretty consistently with Wannick.
yeah, we'll see what happens here with the final round. The Wannick's going to hurt if he doesn't get him off at the end of this round, because then he's down to... Well, he's still got the 2 full squads. Gosh, they're still defending like crazy. But he loses 1. If he doesn't come off Wannick, he loses 1 to Wannick. That puts him down to 5. And then we've got 5 dwarves, 1 sitting on Wannick. Okay. He's got to get some kills here. If he gets 2 kills, he might have a game of it. We only have 4 adjacent. What's he talking about? I missed what the dispute was. 0-3 was on 1 of the dwarves. You only have 4 dwarves. Huh. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I don't know what they're disputing.
I think that Leftonforya briefly thought that Grinder. I think that's actually what led to his confusion. But anyway.
Okay, so I guess he attacked 1 extra time. That's my fault. No! That's funny. Okay, so that's end of turn... What are we at? Turn 3? No, turn 2. Okay. So he's going to get 2 height attacks down. I mean, honestly, right here, I would disengage, or I would fly away from Morgrim, go get the height attack down. Yeah. Yep, get 3 height attacks down on dwarves, you take out... Wow, actually, that's crazy if you could get 3 kills right here. That would leave 2 dwarves. Well, 1 sitting on Wannick, but...
The game's not out of reach because Leftonforya has just given him so many height attack opportunities. Frankly, it was unnecessary. He could have just basically forced him to engage on level. The fact that he basically hasn't been able to get kills because attacking up in every spot. So at this point, I think draining an order marker is out of the question with that whiff. With that whiff on the attack. Yeah, because now he can't kill all of them on the next turn. Although that was 2 anyway, so it wasn't you. Actually, wait.
Yeah, so he's got a full squad left.
Right. If you only have 3 left, then it's theoretically possible.
Yeah, and he's still going to get 2 height attacks on his turn 3. He can knock him off Wannick so that Wannick's not going to...
It's still not... I mean, it's still not looking good for Chris, but the fact that he has 6 on 4 at this point means that he certainly can win it.
Yeah, Chris has done pretty well with some of his defense recently. And then he's done a good job capitalizing. Kind of Leftonforya has given him the chance to capitalize on positioning quite a bit.
So
plus, going off of that right there, I mean, that's opening up the potential for 2 height attacks down on Mogrim if they survive.
Oh, that hurts. Ouch. Well, and if he gets the kill here, it's going to be
then Leftonforya can pull the other one back.
Yeah.
Oof. Yeah. Because now he can attack level ground on the other one.
Yeah. Oh man, that hurts. Yeah, that might do it. because now he can command that position near Wannock with very little that Chris can do.
Yeah, he can't get to the height 4. Even if he wins initiative, he can't get to the height 4 to attack down on. He'd have to attack up or just forgo the attack. Oh, see, he's engaging on low ground there again. Frankly, it's just unnecessary. I would much rather pull those 2 dwarves down onto the road so that I can loop around. I'm totally happy getting 1 attack on that Phantom Knight.
Yeah. Yeah, no. When you're in the lead, no need to give your opponent an opportunity to try and pull it back on some good
Absolutely.
rolls. Interesting.
Another thing to keep in mind is when you start having good rolls and good luck, you start playing a little less carefully than you otherwise would. You sort of get in your own head about it. So there are a lot of moves that you would make if you were being more cautious that you don't make because you're doing well. You don't need to be. At least that's how you think.
It's a good point. So it's once you have the lead, making sure you keep the lead instead of I've got the lead, I can make reckless decisions, or I guess maybe less conservative decisions. Yeah.
It's usually not even a conscious choice. People just tend to do that once they feel like they're doing well. It doesn't even cross their mind that can change.
That's a good point. Well, and see now Phantom Knight blocks. He's clogging up 2 dwarves, so now he can get a height attack down and at least potentially kill 1 and lock up another while he brings in 2 more phantoms. Which, again, he's still a long shot from taking this, but it gives him a chance to make it interesting.
Yeah, I think that psychological aspect is fascinating, especially because if you think about it, the correct way to approach it is almost the opposite. That when things are going well, you should be playing cautiously to try to kind of maintain the advantage position you have, and when things are going poorly, that's when you should be making sort of more high variance plays, more aggressive plays, maybe even somewhat optimistic plays is another way to put it. Because you need to. This is something I brought up a lot of 10 points under, so I don't want to belabor it.
No, that's good. Yeah. And he's going all in. He's saying, "Screw it, I'm going for Morgrim. I want to get some wounds on him." Of course, I guess he figures too, kind of like you said, risky play here. Just jump in, maybe get a wound or 2 on Morgrim, get the initiative switch.
It's tough because even if he goes 3 for 3 twice and Leftonforya goes 0 for 2 twice or 0 for 3 twice, he's still only putting 4 wounds on Morgrim.
Yeah,
it's just so it's tough to put wounds on Morgrim. Shockingly enough,
and as
the power would say.
Is he closing out the round here?
No, I think the dwarves have 1 after this. I was just thinking.
No, you're right. He is closing out the so he's basically playing for the initiative. So it's the right play. It's the right play because he's got a 50% chance of he's got a 40% chance roughly of taking no height attacks because he can just swing both of them on those 2 high spots. Roll initiative, take both level 4 spots, get 1 attack down on. Or 2 attacks down on Morgrim. So he would have to get initiative switch, grab height, and crazy max out. Oh no, he gets a 1.
No.
Come on, Chris, what were you doing? What are you doing rolling a... Oh no! That's the worst. When you lose to a 2. Oh man. I mean, if he rolls like a 16 or a 17, it's not so bad. But the fact that he rolled a 2 and beat him, that's rough.
Obviously, Chris needed to win that one there. But also, I think, Chris is probably aware that he is, playing against a stacked initiative already with Morgrim picking up that extra +3.
Yeah, that's true. He did have the bonus. Oh, he's giving him you have height. Well, I guess there's no need not to. He blanked. Oh, why is he rolling 5 extra dice? No.
You should just roll the 1 extra.
Yeah. I mean, if I'm sure if he gets 4 or 5 skulls, Chris probably points that out. Yeah, just roll 1 more, not a reroll. Yeah. Of course, yeah. Even going 1 for 5, you still want him to blank on that one. So yeah, 0 for 1. Yeah, he missed it, which is actually really fortunate for Chris because he can then take 2 height attacks down, and he's not engaged from the dwarf on Wannock, so he doesn't have to take commander strike hits. So maybe with a 4v5, he can get some good defense rolls. Oh man, he's still giving him a height on that 1 attack on the dwarf up there. 1, 2, 3. I guess he just figures, yeah, multiple attacks just kill him. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's see, and that dwarf can't even. 1, 2. Well, he can engage. 1, 2, 3. No, yeah, he's just gonna stand Wannock.
This is actually hugely risky because he has 3 order markers on axe grinders, and if
Ooh, 1, 2. Oh, nah, don't even attack.
Exactly.
Oh no.
So now he got away with it, but the point is, he could have, even if he has his 3rd on Mogrim, which he may or may not, he could have lost. He could have had all 3 axe grinders wiped out next turn if he hadn't gotten that kill there.
Yep.
And I mean, it's just a completely unnecessary risk.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah. That block happens. Chris goes and engages all 3 dwarves, steals order markers.
Yeah, I mean, he's better off pushing that one back.
Get your first wound on him. Get your first wound on him. That's all you need. just gotta crack it open.
The journey of 1,000 miles begins with this.
Oh. Yeah, it's units like Morgrim where, doing 1 wound at a time is just the most painful thing in the world. You're just like, how many attacks do you need to take, and then you only do 1 wound? Oh, interesting. Think he's going to take it?
It pretty much seals in the win by taking Wannock.
Well, this is turn 2. And so he's got 2 more. What's his face? Chris still has 2 full turns. That's 4 attacks of 4. I don't know. Those dwarves. Let's see. 1, 2, 3. That 1 dwarf can't engage.
He misses.
See, so I don't know.
All right.
I don't know if he needs to make that play. Because again, Morgrim can soak 1 Wannock wound, no big deal. Morgrim can finish these 2 Phantom Knights on his own, right? So if he has to soak a Wannock, sure, give the Phantom Knight a Wannock. Or heck, if you have 1 Axe Grinder left, just soak it at the end of the round. But now, well, actually, bringing up the Axe Grinders now also gives Chris an opportunity, if he wants to steal an order marker. Kill the last 2 Axe Grinders. Steal order marker number 3, potentially. I don't know. That's a tough call. Go all in 4 attacks on Morgrim for 2 turns. Or steal an order marker, come back and do Morgrim. I think you probably have to do 4 attacks on Morgrim to try and keep him from Wannock. Pulling off a Wannock. Well, let's see what he does.
Yeah, I mean, obviously Chris needs a lot of things to go right. At this point, he probably needs to. I mean, maybe he he could bank on axe grinders having the third order, try to snipe the order marker, and then come back and pop Morgrim twice, expect to lose one of them, and then just hope to win the duel where you have height in the next round.
Right.
But even then, the problem is it just takes so long to grind through Morgrim. That's a start. He needs a
Oh my
work
gosh.
here.
Blank here. Please blank here. This is going to be crazy.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's 2
man.
wounds.
Okay.
Hey,
I really
throw it
wanted
away.
him. I really wanted him to eat that. Oh, and then 1. Okay, fine. Don't make it close.
So the question is, where's the order marker?
Dang, he really needed a much better attack on that second one.
Oh, so order marker was on axe grinder. So this was an enormous risk by Leftonforya to put all the order markers on axe grinders. I'm just
Oh, man. Okay, Morgrim.
that's basically game.
Yeah. Unless we get a miraculous block here. That's
A block here followed by a 1 Flannic.
Yeah, we're banking on a 1 in 20
Yeah.
chance.
Yeah.
This is not going
yeah,
to be the end of the game.
a block, then a 1 on Wannick, then win initiative, like full dice attack down.
I lost a game at Gen Con main event because of a 1 on Wannick in the last round or second last round.
No.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
But it's okay because I won the tournament. So.
Yeah. That's right, because you still got to make it into day 2.
I ended up making it in at 3-2, and then that was the year you were there. That was 2017.
2017, yeah. Yeah, and then I think you played, you got to play Craig Van Essen. Did he run Torkoal now, or was that you? I can't remember.
No, I ran Torkoal now. I borrowed Zorlov's Torkoal now army. I didn't want to play my army because it was really grindy, and I didn't want to play a grindy game against
the creator.
Craig Van Essen. Right. So I took his army, which was Torkoal now and airborne elite, like all defense. All engineer breaks, and I rolled him. It was ridiculous.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it was a fun game. He's a super cool guy. There's a reason this game's so good. Part of it is good people.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, Chris is seeing the inevitability of his situation.
Yeah, no, he's right. He actually cannot kill in this turns.
A 1 could make it interesting. We're hoping for a 1. A 5% chance. Let's go. Let's see it. Wannick for the win. Or Wannick for
Here we
not.
go.
Let's see if I get a 1. Come on! Hoping for a 1.
Hey,
a 1
I
in
saw it
20.
today in one of my games. It can happen again.
Blame Filthy. Come on, Filthy. Hey, there was a 1 in there. A 1 did exist in that roll. Okay. What a game. Well, I'm going to go ahead and close this out for the YouTube channel. But any final thoughts from you guys on this one? Really good game between Leftonforya and Chris. Almost pulled it out.
Just congratulations to you guys on running a really great event. I have a couple of suggestions for you for next time, but I thought it was a really successful event. So good on you.
Okay, great.
Well,
Really
thank you.
appreciate it. Yeah, any feedback is always good. Yeah, I hope we can do this a few more times.
Later,
It
guys.
was actually really good.
Have a good one.
Take care, Doc.
All right, well, thanks, Scaper Dude, Leafit, all who have viewed this live casting of the tournament win, or the championship game, and congratulations to Leftonforya for winning it. We'll go ahead and close out, and as always, thank you guys for watching, and we will see you guys next time. Bum, ba, 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 bum, 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 bum. Ba, ba, bum, 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 bum.